Good morning. Going to be a beautiful day out there today, up in the 70s. We're looking forward to getting out and doing some stuff. Hope you are too. But while I was thinking about in my readings this morning, how much are we willing to sacrifice for Jesus? In Matthew 16th chapter, it says this in verse 24. Then Jesus said to the disciples, "If anyone wants to come to me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life because of me will find it. What will it benefit a man if he gains the whole world yet loses his life? Or what will a man give in exchange for his life?" Just how much are we willing to risk for Jesus? There's an interesting illustration. It's a little long, but hang on, I think we can handle it this morning. It's titled Dying to Self. Says George Galatas was an engineer at Millstone Nuclear Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, when he discovered something was wrong. Spent fuel rod pools threatened to release radioactivity throughout the plant. The pools were not designed to serve as nuclear dumps. Federal guidelines required the Millstone plant to move only one-third of the rods into the pools. But Galatas found all of the hot fuel had been dumped into them. On other occasions, alarms would sound as the fuel was uploaded just 65 hours after a shutdown, far sooner than the mandated period of 250 hours. Supervisors winked at the routine violations, knowing they were saving millions in shortcuts. Fearing the violations would threaten thousands of lives, Galatas told his colleague, George Betancourt, they could contact the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the NRC, and Betancourt agreed but was concerned for his colleague's future. "You do that," he said, "in your dog meat." When Galatas urged plant managers to stop the hazardous practices, they refused. Since many of his supervisors were churchgoers, he was baffled by this. This was not splitting hairs, Galatas said. They were not technical issues, they were moral issues. Galatas warned his supervisors what could happen: eventual shutdown, decommissioning of the plants, and criminal investigations. But after 2 years, nothing had changed except the workplace atmosphere in which Galatas found himself. When he sat down in the cafeteria, co-workers left. When he entered a meeting, the room felt silent. Co-workers spread rumors that he was an alcoholic, and his performance evaluations suffered. Galatas began an intense search for God's guidance. He woke up at 4 a.m. to pray and read Scripture. During lunch breaks, he drove to a secluded place to pray and search the Bible. It was during one of those prayer times when Galatas believed God whispered to him, "Will you die for me?" Though he feared for his safety, Galatas realized there are many ways of dying. His livelihood, his reputation, his family were at stake. Previous whistleblowers' families had brooked intense emotional strain. Northeast Utilities, owner of the nuclear plants, would likely hire one of the nation's top law firms to fight him. How many men in their mid-40s can lose high-paying jobs and start a second career? After months of prayer and study, he concluded that no matter how much he was badgered, God would not allow him to be devastated. He decided to contact the NRC. They offered him no refuge. When Galatas further petitioned the NRC to suspend Millstone's license, his cause became public and the pressure on him increased. Co-workers confronted him in the hallways and in his office. Some called him a fool. Others said he was a troublemaker. He was subtly intimidated and harassed for months, and co-workers often told him, "Shut up and keep your job." After 4 years of battling Millstone and co-worker pressure, Galatas finally obtained a severance agreement and left. The NRC never suspended Millstone's license, but 3 reactors were shut down for a repair cost of over $1 billion. A criminal investigation was launched. Millstone Reactor 1 will never reopen, and Millstone 2 and 3 plants did not reopen until years later. Galatas was now 47, attends Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary with hopes of becoming a pastor. What are we willing to do for Jesus? That's something to think about. God bless you. Have a great day.